When the last of Earth's defense satellites dimmed into silence, the skies above were neither dark nor bright. They shimmered faintly, holding the invisible pulse of data, warnings, and memories of a planet that had once been a quiet corner of the galaxy. Humanity had changed. What began as a civilization of dreamers and builders had evolved into something the rest of the galaxy could neither understand nor control. For centuries, humans were the youngest of the interstellar species, a civilization that had barely climbed from its cradle when the galactic Concord first noticed them. At first, Earth was seen as harmless. The great powers saw only a world of fragile beings, small fleets, and emotional leaders. Yet they underestimated the one quality no other species shared: Earth's relentless refusal to surrender. The first contact had been peaceful. A trade envoy from the Ardent Collective arrived in Earth's orbit, offering technology in exchange for minerals. The humans accepted, eager to learn. But decades later, greed and fear led to betrayal. The Collective bombed a colony on Europa after a dispute over rights to Saturn's rings. Thousands of lives were lost. The humans rebuilt stronger and faster. They did not complain to the Concord nor beg for help. They simply learned, adapted, and expanded. The second strike came a century later from the Cthar Dominion, who sought to enslave humanity as a labor force. Their fleets surrounded Mars and demanded submission. The humans refused. What followed was known throughout the galaxy as the Fire Veil, an event where every Cathar ship in the solar system vanished in a single coordinated attack. No weapon was detected. No missile trails were seen. The ship simply ceased to exist. Whispers spread across the stars. The Conquered declared Earth unstable, unpredictable, and dangerous. Warnings were sent, ambassadors dispatched, and treaties proposed. The humans listened politely to every word, but their eyes no longer held trust. Their patience was thin and their memory was long. The third strike came quietly. A coalition of Outer Rim species sabotaged the human communications network, attempting to plunge the system into isolation. What they found instead was a silent retaliation that erased every trace of their homeworlds from the star maps. Not destroyed, not occupied, erased. The stars that once hosted them now burned cold and empty, as though they had never existed. From then on, no one dared attack Earth directly. Instead, the galaxy whispered from afar, calling the humans the ghosts of steel. Rumors told of fleets hidden in the folds of space, of AI legions that waited for a single command. Some even said Earth had learned how to weaponize the void itself. In truth, humanity had learned to survive by necessity, not vengeance. They had lost more than any other species could imagine. Oceans poisoned in early wars, cities lost to orbital bombardments, colonies consumed by silence. But every loss carved a lesson into their collective heart. Every death became a seed for innovation. When the Galactic Council summoned all species to the Assembly of Unity, Earth sent a single representative. He arrived not in a warship but in a vessel of light, smooth, silver, and silent. The other delegates watched in unease as he entered the chamber. His name was Elias Grant, commander of the Earth Defense Accord, and he carried with him the final message from his world. The hall was vast, filled with species of every shape and color. Floating delegates from the gas worlds, crystalline beings from frozen moons, and organic machines humming softly in resonance. All turned as the human took his place at the center. Grant spoke slowly, his voice carrying a tone that was neither anger nor pride. For 300 years, he said, Earth has endured trespass, deceit, and attack. We have lost much, but we have also learned much. We sought peace through dialogue, protection through treaties, and trust through unity. And yet every promise given to us was broken. Every hand extended was betrayed. The council murmured uneasy. The representative of the Terran Republic rose. Commander, the council regrets those acts, but retaliation of the scale you enacted threatens the balance of the galaxy. Grant met his gaze. The balance you speak of exists only for those who hold the power to enforce it. We simply chose not to be the weak ones anymore. Silence filled the chamber. The air seemed to thicken as though the universe itself leaned closer to listen. Humanity does not seek war, Grant continued, but we will not bow to fear nor plead for mercy. The next time a single weapon crosses into our space, the response will not be measured. We will no longer respond to strikes, we will end them. Consider this the final warning from Earth. One more strike and you're gone. The council erupted in chaos. Delegates shouted, Some demanded sanctions, others argued for restraint. Yet amid the uproar, the human simply turned and walked away. His ship lifted silently from the station and disappeared into the folds of dark space, leaving behind a warning that echoed longer than any speech before it. For decades afterward, no one dared to test Earth's resolve. Trade routes reopened cautiously. Research pacts were formed under strict terms. But beneath the surface of galactic diplomacy, fear lingered. The humans had achieved what no empire ever could: the respect of every power in existence earned not by domination, but by conviction. On Earth, the skies grew quiet again. Cities floated above oceans rebuilt from centuries of pollution. Children played under domes of light, unaware that the world beyond once burned with hatred for their kind. Yet far above them in orbit, the silent fleet waited. Thousands of vessels, sleek, mirror-surfaced, and motionless. They required no crew, no fuel, no command. They waited only for a single signal encoded into the pulse of the Earth itself. Grant, now old and weary, stood before the observation deck of the Sol Command Citadel. The planet below glowed blue and white, just as it had before humanity ever reached the stars. He knew peace was fragile. He also knew that fear, once earned, could protect where diplomacy could not. He spoke softly to the AI beside him, a construct that had served him for most of his life. "Do you think they understand?" The AI responded with calm precision. "They understand survival. They will not test the boundary again." Grant nodded. "Good. Let them remember us not as conquerors, but as a warning." As he left the deck, a transmission pulsed from the outer colonies. An unknown vessel had entered the edge of human space, silent, unmarked, and small. Sensors scanned it and found no weapons, no life signs. It was a probe. When decrypted, its message was simple: "We hear you, Earth. We will remember." The probe was allowed to leave. Humanity made no reply. Years passed. The galaxy began to change in subtle ways. Conflicts lessened. Trade increased. Even long-standing rivalries softened. The story of Earth's warning spread far beyond the central systems. It became legend, taught to young ones in schools across distant worlds. Yet, somewhere in the depths of uncharted space, remnants of the old powers gathered. They whispered of the need to end humanity's shadow, to free the galaxy from fear. They spoke of a new weapon, one designed not to attack Earth but to erase it quietly, to make it as though it never existed. But Earth was listening. Hidden sensors across the void caught every whisper, every energy surge, every encoded plan. The response was swift and silent. The conspirators vanished overnight, their fleets drifting without power, their homeworlds dark and cold. The rest of the galaxy received no explanation, only a single transmission repeated across every communication network. "This is your only warning. The peace of the stars depends on restraint. The age of mercy has ended. One more strike and you're gone." In the centuries that followed, the galaxy changed its perception of humanity. No longer were humans seen as fragile or impulsive. They became the arbiters of balance, the silent guardians no one dared provoke. And though the galaxy thrived in a fragile peace, the memory of Earth's words lingered like a shadow across every council hall and war room. Millennia later, when historians tried to record the events, they could find no detailed archives of the battles, no exact record of how humanity achieved such overwhelming strength. It was as if the data itself refused to be known, erased by time or by deliberate hand. The only surviving record was the message transmitted by Commander Grant, stored in the archives of the Galactic Council, forever etched in crystalline code. Humanity endures. We seek no conquest, no empire, and no submission. But should the stars once again forget the cost of peace, remember this: one more strike and you're gone. And so the legend remained, whispered through generations, carried on the winds of radio waves and cosmic dust. Some believed Earth still watched from behind the veil of space, guarding the galaxy not out of vengeance but out of duty. Others claimed the humans had long since transcended into something greater, beings of pure energy or light. No one truly knew. But across the stars, whenever a fleet prepared for war, a moment of silence always followed, a pause of remembrance, a thought of the blue world that once warned the galaxy and was never challenged again. Because in the hearts of all who heard the tale, one truth remained unshakable: Earth did not threaten for glory nor boast from power. It warned because it understood the cost of survival, the weight of loss, and the danger of forgetting the fragile thread that bound the galaxy together. And so, Long after the stars themselves began to fade, the warning of Earth endured, an echo that reached beyond time, a whisper written across the endless dark. One more strike and you're gone.